If you ask anyone who lived in Washington, D.C. during the 1960s, most all of them will know the name Petey Greene. Greene was a larger-than-life personality whose unique personal story is tailor-made for Hollywood. And Talk to Me director Kasi Lemmons says Don Cheadle was tailor-made to play this role. Here's your Backstage Pass.
This is the Nighthawk Show, rocking your radio on the sounds of soul.
At a radio station in a time of change.
There's always been a station of the people. We can't become the establishment or they'll turn on us.
One man who had something to prove.
You think you can turn us around?
Yes, sir, I do.
Found what he was looking for in the most unlikely place.
You see, I've always had a special gift. P.O.P. Pissed off people. Sometimes I feel like I should have a Ph.D. in P.O.P.
This is the cat that I've been writing you about.
Don Cheadle adds another exceptional performance to his already impressive acting resume in the new film Talk to Me, playing real-life ex-con turned radio DJ Petey Greene.
Your brother said y'all need a new DJ at that radio station. Hey, I'm your man.
You're in prison.
It's a minor challenge.
May I help you?
Tell your boss that Petey Greene's on the scene.
What is going on out here?
You promised me a job as soon as I got out the joint.
Oh my God, he's a convict.
Ex-convict.
But Petey Greene's story is more than just about a convict with a gift for gab. The film is also the story of a man who became the irreverent voice and the conscience of Washington, D.C.'s black community in the turbulent 1960s.
Good evening, Washington. My guest tonight is a pimp that I wouldn't trust to wash my car, but y'all done elected him city official.
Kasi, I found this to be a truly riveting film, particularly in the performances as well as the subject matter. What drew you to this project as a director?
Petey's voice. You know, Petey's voice. I felt like we were in a time where people were very politically correct and kind of scared to speak out, afraid of being misconstrued. It's an epidemic in our business. You know, you're afraid of people dissecting your words instantly over the internet or whatever, but people get cautious, and I felt the need, I felt the need for Petey's voice, this kind of uncensored, spontaneous voice.
Wake up, damn it! Petey Greene is on the scene. I'm a recovering alcoholic, been sober 5 hours.
Oh no.
Some of my best friends is pimps, whores.
Open this door! You're moving trouble!
I've been trying to call the police, but all our lines have been flooded.
Are these listener calls?
He had enormous influence, but he had a very, what you see is what you get, tell it like it is, in your face kind of style that became, in my view, kind of a performance art. You never knew what was going to come out of his mouth. He was very raw, but he had a lot of influence. Somehow he managed to speak from the collective soul of that community.
Petey Greene's impact on the community was never more deeply felt than in the wake of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, when he used his voice to calm a city filled with rage and pain.
It's a dark day in America. I know you're hurting. I want y'all to just go take a look out your window. That's your city.
You can say the things that I'm afraid to say. I guess I do the things you're afraid to do.
Well, he was an activist, and brought home the issues in the community. Very much anti-poverty and pro-education, and was extremely important, I think, in terms of talking to the city, talking them through their pain and their conflict, with a great deal of humor.
Y'all see the paper this morning, P-Town? Say Petey Greene goes to the White House and steals some silverware. Now come on, that don't make no damn sense. Imagine that, a Negro like me, ex-con, get invited by the president to the White House and I'm gonna run up in there and take something? Come on, y'all. I ain't that crazy.
Don Cheadle's performance in this film is just incredible. I mean, I'm predicting now that he's going to get an Oscar nod, but what was it like for you to work with him, and what did he enjoy most about taking on this character?
Well, I think all of us as artists, we don't like to be pigeonholed, so we're always wanting to stretch. So for me, of course, from my first film, Eve's Bayou, to this film, they're completely different. Yet I can see myself in all the films that I've done. And I think for Don, or for actors, it's the same thing. You don't want to be, just when people think they might know you one way, you want to change. And so I think it was a really good change for Don to be this funny and this kind of outspoken, and I look at it as kind of Cheadle unleashed, you know. He's pretty wild in the film, and I think that he really looked forward to exploring that aspect of himself and that aspect of the character.
They're gonna have to take my title just like they did Ali. And see, that's what I'm talking about right there. Black man can only say so much in this so-called free country till they break you down. Well, guess what? I'm telling it. That's right, and I'm gonna keep on telling it. Some of it you're gonna like, some of it you ain't. If you got something to say, give me a call.
What struck me about Petey was that he was involved in so many different things. He was on the radio, he was on the television set. He really affected the Washington, D.C. community, yet there's sort of an unfulfilled potential there in that he wasn't known outside of that community.
Right. And I think that that is part of the tension that's in the film, is that his producer, Dewey Hughes, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, wants more for Petey. You know, he sees that he really could have been Richard Pryor, you know.
You are doing the Tonight Show.
He doesn't want to be here.
Did you see him? Petey! Where have you been?
I was being real, Dewey. You may have just cost me my FCC license.
The whole world was yours.
That ain't me.
Petey was happy just talking to people, you know. He wanted to be on the radio. That was really his dream. He wanted to be on the radio.
She put that on the green card.
Academy Award nominee Don Cheadle, Inside Man's Chiwetel Ejiofor.
You ready to shake up the world, radio man?
Talk to me.
Good night, Jack. Good night, Chuck. I don't talk like that.
Walk off in it. Yeah, you talk exactly like that. And you walk like you got a stick broke off in your...
Now, when Petey Greene died of cancer in 1984, 10 to 20,000 people paid their respects in freezing cold temperatures at a memorial service, and it was the largest gathering for a non-government official in Washington, D.C. history.